What's up, YouTube? Sorry about the crude video I'm doing. I'm still waiting on some lights and stuff. I got to paint my office to make this studio look a little better. I wanted to talk today about the divorce attorney my ex-wife used. And her name is LINDALEE from the LINDALEE law firm on Cherry Creek Drive. Sorry, I don't have a camera stand yet, so it looks like I'm reading. I'm actually not. It's the way the camera's set up. Oh yeah, guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe. I am going to be doing videos every day on new subjects. Right now it's my personal stuff, but I'll be making a transition soon enough. Anyway, here we go. LINDALEE Law Firm. This is a black woman. This is her in the top right corner here with Nancy Grace. I don't know if you guys remember Nancy Grace, but she was infamous for lying about the Duke lacrosse scandal. Looks like two birds of a feather here. What I wanted to start with was, I'll just go down the timeline. So I started having problems with my ex-wife's 25-year-old son at the time in June of 2020. And I had to call the police on this dude 5 times in 6 months, or 3 times, whatever it was. We had 5 incidents in 6 months. I think I called the police 3 times. So finally, after calling the police 3 times and my ex-wife taking her son's side, which we all knew that that's what she was going to do, I moved out the day after Christmas. So basically New Year's, January 2021, I moved out. So for 8 months, everything was good. I was picking up my son, got to see my son whenever I wanted, Waterworld, all that. It's all documented on Facebook. August 8th, my ex-wife, when I was picking up my son, she comes out of the house and asked me to move back home. And I told her it wasn't going to work. I mean, her son still lived there, and she had no intentions on making him move out. So why would I go back? Especially to an unloyal woman that obviously will choose her son no matter what happens. If me and her son would have gotten into a fight, she would have walked into court and chose her son's side. So why would I want to stay in a house full of snakes? Anyway, so I move out. August 8th, she asked me to come home. I say no. August 10th, so she had already filed for divorce when she asked me to move home. She had already filed for divorce. August 10th, I get served with divorce papers from the LINDALEE law firm. So I give this broad a call to see what's the deal. From jump, she's holding money, my son, for money. That was always the trade. This whole time, through the whole divorce, it always went back to money. It never went back to what was best for my son. It always went to money. So August 10th, I get served. She tells my ex-wife to not let me see my son. So now I don't see my son from August 7th, August 8th, when I dropped him off, to September 1st. So let's talk about August 14th at 6 p.m. in my Brighton location. If you look right here, people, you'll see a police report. That's the police report from the robbery. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that my ex-wife robbed my business at gunpoint with 3 assailants, or 3 accomplices. I keep getting that wrong. 3 accomplices. This woman here, Miss Nancy Grace lover, LINDALEE, advised my ex-wife to rob my store. Says it in the police report. My ex-wife says, my divorce attorney told me I have a right to go commandeer his store because I happen to be out of town in Las Vegas with another woman. So Miss LINDALEE here tells my ex-wife that it's okay for her to come in here and run my employees off, commandeer my store, and try to liquidate it while I'm in Las Vegas. That was their plan. Well, I don't think LINDALEE told her to bring a gun or 2, but my ex-wife brought 2 guns and 3 people and emptied the register, took checks, and was charged with armed robbery. So on the advice of this attorney here, she robbed my store. So if I was my ex-wife, I'd be suing this crazy broad for telling her that she had the right to come in my store and commandeer it. So the next thing, we have to go to court because I filed a restraining order to get my son back. So September 1st, we get to court, and the judge gives me full custody of my son because of the felony issue with these robberies. So it was a male judge. He said, here's your son. You can have him for 7 days until we have a hearing. So we had a hearing September 7th. And the first thing Mrs. Lee here does, she walks into court and tries to lie to the court and say that I smell like marijuana when I pick up my son, which I don't know how anybody could know that because my ex-wife never comes out of the house. My ex-wife hasn't been within 10 feet of me now almost 2 years. So the lies. Mrs. Lee here has a history, it looks like, of trying to deceive courts. If you look here in the top left corner, failed courtroom ID ploy cited in suspension of Colorado lawyer. Well, this is Mrs. Lee, November 26th of 2013. That's when this was written. Mrs. Lee was disciplined. She was suspended for a year and a day, ended up doing 6 months for trying to fool a witness. And what this dumb broad did, she thought that her client had been, I guess, misidentified. So she makes her client go sit in the back of the room in the gallery with the regular people and then puts another woman at the defense table with her and tries to fool a witness. That's what I read in the article. And there's also, if you scroll down on Google, you can find the actual suspension papers. For some reason, I couldn't get my damn app to download. I don't know if it was a format or what. I'm learning. Anyway, there's the actual suspension from the Colorado Supreme Court is on Google. You can find it. This woman has been suspended for basically trying to defraud a judge and a witness, which is crazy. So this same woman told my wife that it was okay to come commandeer my business violently, remove my employees, and liquidate my store without the divorce even being final. Let me back up. Actually, August 11th, Mrs. Lee sent my ex-wife 3 days before the robbery to my bank and tried to have my bank accounts cleared out. August 11th. And when they couldn't do that, she sent her down to rob my store. Now, this is a black woman, y'all. This is a black woman doing everything she can to financially ruin a black man and take his black son. Now, all of us know the statistics in the black community. 80% out of wedlock. So here you have a good father, me, never been in trouble in his life, 46 years old, no criminal history. And this black woman, instead of telling her client, hey, you got a good dad here, let's try to work with him, she did everything she could to ruin me. No other community acts like this, people. You won't find a Jewish man walk into court and lie on another Jewish man. You won't find a Muslim attorney going to court and lie on another Muslim man. You won't see it. You won't see just a regular old white dude, attorney. He won't walk into court and lie on another white man. Only in the black community do we act like this. This woman is an enemy of black men. She's supposed to be a defense attorney. I wouldn't let her defend me. Hell no. She don't like black men. So let's continue. Let's talk about some lies in court. I got a little list here. Sorry, I am reading a little bit. She tried to say I smoke weed in front of my son with no evidence whatsoever. She tried to say that my car smells like weed, but yet my ex-wife, nor her, nor the judge has even been in my car. The judge noted that. She tried to say my car seats were unsafe. My son's 10. He doesn't need a car seat. She tried to say my seatbelts were broke or something. She tried to say that we get high in my store in front of my son and not in front of my son. And anybody knows that if you spark a joint up in a business in Colorado or any other state, your ass is going to get evicted. Sorry. So that was untrue. She tried to say my new girlfriend, the one I went to Las Vegas with, that's what started all this, that her house is unsafe. My ex-wife has sent the police there like 5 or 6 times because she uses my son's iPhone to track us. And when she sees we're at my girlfriend's house, she calls the cops to do a welfare check. This is all under the guise of this evil woman right here, LINDALEE. What did I say? Oh, sorry, my handwriting is horrible. She tried to go into court and say that I make $8,000 a month with no evidence. She said I was hiding money. She basically had some crazy ledger that says I've had $34,000 in a bag somewhere off of my balance sheet, off of my QuickBooks sheet. She was trying to, she was just trying to make up anything she could to get money. They leveraged my son against me for money. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. She lied. First, they tried to keep my kid from me, right? But because she kept my kid from me, my ex-wife had to hire a babysitter. So instead of giving me my son, they hire a babysitter and then tell the court that I need to pay for that babysitter. So for 2 years, I got to pay $132 because this broad right here, LINDALEE, will go into court and lie. She will lie. She knows my ex-wife never had a babysitter. There's no proof. My son couldn't pick the lady that, first of all, the lady they said was watching my son was an accomplice in the robbery. Nicole Carbajal. She was in the robbery. She brought a gun, a pink 9mm, and had a bullet in the chamber. That's who this woman, LINDALEE, is telling the court should watch my son and trying to make me pay for it. Only in America, people. Only in America can this happen. She said, literally everything she said, she had no evidence for. She came into court and said that I have a medical marijuana card so that I should have to take drug tests. So I had to pay almost $500 for 3 drug tests to prove that I smoke marijuana because I have a marijuana card. Isn't that crazy? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. A guy goes into court with a medical marijuana card, and LINDALEE's response is to make him take a drug test for marijuana. Smoke that over for a second. So for her thing was, for me to see my son, my marijuana levels need to go down. And they did until the end of it because it was New Year's and I partied. And when the judge read that I had to take drug tests, she kind of scoffed and was like, he has a medical marijuana card. Yeah, he's got marijuana in his system. Great. Next. Like, the judge didn't even care. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a case of a black woman that hates black men. That's what this is. She's probably single. I couldn't imagine her being married to a black man and coming home and looking at him and knowing what she's done to me. I'm sure she's done it to other black men. I just don't get how she can just go into court and say any goddamn thing. So this is what's going to happen. Me, I'm going to write out all this stuff I just wrote, and I'm going to make a complaint to the Colorado board again. I'm going to make a complaint to the there's an oversight board for attorneys. I'm going to make a complaint to them. I'm going to make a complaint to the Colorado Supreme Court and anybody else that will listen. This woman will say anything in court with no evidence. And the problem is, in family court, they don't have to prove your guilt. You have to prove your innocence. I'll say that one more time. In family court, you have to prove your innocence. They don't have to prove your guilt. My ex-wife could have walked into court and said, I molest my son. And I would have had to defend that. I would have had to prove her wrong. That's family court in America. You don't got to prove people are guilty. They have to prove they're innocent. In the meantime, these attorneys are getting retainer after retainer after retainer. This woman will say anything and do anything to get another retainer. She'll ruin anybody she can to get another retainer. And attorneys like this are the problem with the court system in America. This woman knew when she got out of bed the day we had trial that the things she's saying weren't true. And she went into court and said it anyway. I'll say it again. When she got out of bed that morning, she knew what she was saying wasn't true. And she came in and said it anyway. This woman should not have a bar license. I'll point to this article again. She took a witness and put a defendant and put him in the gallery, and then put a fake defendant next to her at the table and tried to fool the court. So the last thing I want to say is, you see this little picture right here? This is my man Shonuff. This is how this woman comes to court. You see this picture here? This is an old picture. She's probably about 10 years older than that now. She got little miles on her now. She's fat. She's got curly ass, messed up hair. I can't tell if it's a weave. It looks like this, literally. It looks like this. The one time I did see her in court personally, she had her hair like this. She had on a lavender velvet pantsuit. And the funniest part was she had the whole coronavirus visor on. And then the headband was leopard print. She literally looked like she was going to pull slots in Vegas. That's how she shows up to court. She looks like she's going on a girls trip, because you know she don't got no man. She's going on a girls trip to Vegas. That's how she looks when she comes to court. Anyway, that was just my little personal shot. I'll get back to you on what the Colorado Court of Appeals says, or whatever they call themselves, but I'm definitely going to refer my case and this woman to the Colorado Bar. I'm also going to upload this to her Google page and my Facebook page and my YouTube page, and I will continue to do videos every day I don't have my son. Please like and subscribe. Sorry the video was long. What day is it? Monday. Oof. Got a long week ahead of us, guys. Let's keep it going. Stay productive. Black men, protect your seed. Protect your seed. Get a prenup. Protect your seed. Have a good day, guys.